Definitely, NAS backup is causing a lot of challenges for the customers. A couple of challenges that I can kind of talk about. First, the growth of unstructured data. Basically, NAS backup is about file shares and file servers backup. So the growth of the data, which involves the size of the data that you're having, is increasing. The quantity of files that you have in your unstructured data in the file share is also increasing, and the speed of creating all those files are also increasing. So that growth is huge when it comes to unstructured data in a file service or file shares. Next, the challenge or the problems that you're facing will be the span of the unstructured data. Data are moving across in the cloud, in the remote sites, in your edge, it's everywhere. All right, IoT, so cloud are kind of spanning, or unstructured data is spanning across multiple places that you have. So you need to take note of that as one of the problems when it comes to performing a NAS backup. Retention of data. With compliance and regulation, data has to be on longer term retention, even for unstructured data. That also causes some challenge when it comes to a NAS backup. Last but not least, all these challenges will result in an inefficient backup, or sometimes some organization doesn't even have a backup for their files in their NAS file service at all. Yep. So in V10, NAS backup is our first capabilities that we have enhanced or we have created in V10. So 3 ways of us improving the NAS data protection. Number 1 will be faster, number 2 will be scalability, and number 3 will be agnostic. So let's take a look into faster. So we created, or we invented, a change file tracking that maintains the footprint of file data. We talk about data's growing, we talk about billions and billions of files, right? So we maintain the footprint of a file data to know which are the files that has been changed since the last backup. So we'll be able to do a very efficient incremental backup. Adding on to that, we have a cache repository. So with the cache repository, we are able to put data that's more recently being accessed into the cache repository for faster access. And with the change file tracking and the cache repository, that results in a super fast backup processing, which allows faster incremental backup even on commodity hardware storage. Second, scalability. We introduces a span out distributed architecture whereby we have what we call a file proxies that can be distributed to process files that span across the organization. File proxies can be deployed in the cloud space that you have, it can be deployed in the remote sites that you have, consolidating, multi-streaming all your data in the most efficient manner and back it up into the central system. Last but not least, agnostic. We built a NAS data protection that is transparent. You can run a file service on a Windows or Linux operating system, or even on a hardware vendor specific file appliance. Veeam back it up directly or using our SMB or NFS share protocol to make sure that all your data can be backed up regardless of any hardware vendor that you have your file server on. So 3 things: faster, scalability, and agnostic is what we have improved and created in the NAS data protection world. I think this will be best explained again using use cases perspective. So I have 3 use cases to share over here. The first use case will be on the complete loss of your file share, or a very major outage, or that brings down your file servers, right? Or just purely wanted to do a file migration. So it requires a complete restore of the latest version of all your files, either to the original or the alternate location or where your file share is. So that's the first use case. The second use case will be ransomware attack. So to circumvent ransomware attack, you need to have a quick rollback to a point in time, or what you call the last known good configuration before the attack occurs. So a wizard-driven step allowing you to roll back to a point in time whereby before your ransomware attack, you can choose that point in time and do a file recovery of your NAS data. Last case, day-to-day restore operations. Operators usually have the request from users to do a restore of a particular file or particular folders. So in our NAS data protection, we provide the search capabilities. You can choose a specific restore points. All the available versions of a simple and flexible restore task can be performed using that wizard-driven steps to do that point in time, as well as the day-to-day restoration requests when it comes to a particular specific files or folder. So in V10, we score a perfect 10 out of 10. Better backup, faster, stronger, and smarter.